Now, we've got our sine rule, we've derived our sine rule, and we have a problem. Because if I tell you a side here is length C, and then if I tell you that this is angle B and this is angle A up here, and the third one is going to be angle C, if I give you the length B as, so that is the length opposite B as 5 centimetres, I can have 5 centimetres here, or I could have 5 centimetres here. So let's see how that affects things. So if I tell you this angle here, if that one's fixed, then I've got one angle, I've got one side, and I've got oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Yes, I've got this side, I've got this angle, and I've got this side. So if you think about the sine rule, which is sine angle B over side B equals sine angle C over side C, we can rearrange that and we could say sine of angle C equals C sine B over B. So if I give you those three things, this one, this one, and this one, then you should be able to find sine C. That's what the formula would tell us, right? I know this, I know this, I know this, so that one, no problem. The problem is, if we try and draw that as a triangle, these three black ticks here, well, if I look instead of looking at this triangle in red, I look at this triangle with this line here, well, I still have the same C, I still have the same angle B, and I still have the same side length B. So that means that there are actually two possibilities geometrically for the missing angle, this angle or this angle. And this formula looks like it's going to give us one angle, doesn't it? So which one is it going to give us? Is it going to give us this one or this one? And it's important, isn't it? If we're trying to find the missing angle in a triangle, we need to know which triangle we're dealing with. Now, the problem is solved in this way. This angle here is an acute angle, this angle here is an obtuse angle. And if we think about the sine graph, the sine graph does this. 0 is here and 180 degrees is here. So any possible value of sine theta has two possible angles that it could be, okay? So this will make a little more sense after chapter 10, but for the moment, just so we can deal with chapter 9 questions if we're doing them in order, we need to be aware there are two possible angles, that if we have a sine theta, there are two possibilities between 0 and 180, but one of them is obtuse and one of them is acute. If I knew the acute angle was, for example, 50 degrees, then I can use the fact that this lump here is symmetrical, and I can say, well, 180 take away 50 degrees is this angle here. 180 take away 50 degrees is this angle here. So that's 130 degrees. So we're going to use the fact, sort of on its own at the moment, after chapter 10, this is the sort of fact that we'll be used to. We'll be able to see a lot more context for it. The sine of theta, if theta is acute, then sine theta equals sine of 180 minus theta. This one will be obtuse, this one will be acute. The question usually, to be honest, this isn't a question that on A-level exam papers they tend to use to trip us up very often. There's enough difficult trig for them to use from the second year book and from later on in this book. Even on AS papers, there's enough difficult trig for them to play around with. And this is an obscure little corner. To set a question which is deliberately looking to trip you up like this would be a bit weird, really. But there we go. If they do set it, hopefully we're ready for it. But this is much more likely to cause you a problem with the exercises in this particular chapter. And it is something we should be aware of, okay? When we've done chapter 10, we deal with a lot of solving trig equations, and hopefully we'll be a little bit more ready for this sort of thing then. Okay, hope that helps.